Hello again, 110. In this video, we will attempt to go over the tools of political scientists, and we're just going to introduce this information. That's all we're really going to do with it this semester. It's useful that you be a little bit familiar with these terms, and maybe you already are from some of the math courses that you've taken. And what are the data? Data are systematic measurements or observations that are collected as a source of information about a theoretically defined concept or idea. So they are measurements or observations about an idea or concept. And in our example, there is a political behavior that we want to explain, vote choice. And these are on pages 15 through 20, right at the beginning of the textbook if you're wondering where I'm getting this from. Vote choice is a general concept, and we can define it before we ever observe an election. The first step in collecting data is to represent the concept that we are interested in as a variable. A variable defines all possible outcomes of a concept that could occur and assigns them a unique label or value. So it's an outcome with a label or value. Vote choice, for instance, may take four possible values or outcomes. Vote for the Democratic Party, Republican Party, vote for another party, or don't vote. And here are the results of the 2016 presidential election. We see the four variables and the number that occurred, or the votes for those four possible variables. Censuses and random sample surveys allow social scientists to collect information systematically on a large number of cases. This means collecting data are staples of social sciences. This is what political scientists are going to do. With a census, we observe all individuals in the population at a given moment. Every 10 years, the United States conducts a comprehensive enumeration of all people living in the country, including information on families, education levels, income, race and ethnicity, commuting, housing, and employment. An election is a census, as it is a comprehensive count of all votes cast in a given election. So we can measure a variable such as vote choice by taking count of all electoral votes and non-votes in a voting eligible population, and that's what we did in Table A. A survey, on the other hand, consists of a study of a relatively small subset of individuals. So it is a study of a subset of individuals, and we call this subset a sample. We can measure a variable for those individuals in the sample and extrapolate patterns from the sample to the entire population. And that's risky business. Summarizing data. Communicating the information in a census or survey requires tools for the summarizing the data. First, we compute the frequency with which each value of a variable occurs. Frequency may be either the number of times that a specific behavior or value of a variable occurs, or the percent of the observations in which it occurs. It's a number of times. Second, we construct a graph or statistic that summarizes the frequencies of all the variables of the variable. And in this example here, we show a pie chart with the percentages or the number of times that people voted for those four variables. Either Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, they didn't vote, or they voted for another party candidate. Variables such as income can also be characterized with statistics such as the median or mean. In this example, the median is the value of all household incomes such that half of all households have incomes below the value and half have income above it. The median household income in the United States in 2015 was $56,516. The mean is the average value for the variable. Personal income received by households totaled approximately $10 trillion in 2015, and there were 126 million households, so the average household income was $79,263. Interesting. Why do the mean and median differ? In calculating the median, every household is equal. We merely count the percent above and below a certain income level. The mean value weights households according to their incomes. Consequently, a household with a $200,000 income contributes 10 times as much to the calculation of the mean as a household with $20,000. If there were only a small difference in income among households, the mean would be very close to the median. The difference between the median income and the mean income thus provides a way to measure inequality. Only about 1/3 of households had income above the mean value of $79,263. And liberals and conservatives, ladies and gentlemen, will look at this measure of inequality statistically much differently. Testing arguments using data. Many times we will look for a relationship or association between two variables to see if the predictions from an argument hold true, and if they do, we take that as evidence supporting the argument. A relationship or association between two variables, sometimes called a correlation, should not be taken to mean that one of the variables caused the other to occur. Causation is much more difficult to establish, and that goes back to the idea of whether or not vote level was done by income. It would seem that if inequality, which liberals tend to want to eradicate, you would think that all people that are under the poverty line would have voted for Hillary Clinton. But 41% voted for Donald Trump. You would think that all conservatives, who tend to be those who are wealthier, you would think that all those people that made $100,000 or more would have voted for Donald Trump. And that's not the case. 47% of them voted for Hillary Clinton as well. So again, statistics are useful tools, but proving causation is much more difficult to do using those tools of political scientists. And that's all we're really going to spend on that this semester.